Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Proximity Esports F1 Championship Round 2. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Proximity Esports F1 Championship Round 2. I am going to be commentating today. My name is Glenn, your host, and today we're going to be racing at one of my favorite racetracks in the F1 calendar. Actually, I think it is my most favorite F1 racetrack on the calendar. It is none other than Autodromo. I don't know how to say his name properly. It's Autodromo Jose Carlos Pacha, also known as Interlagos. Now, Interlagos is one of the most iconic F1 circuits on the grid. It's been when was it made? It was made in the 1940s, and then F1 started there in the 1970s. And over the years it's produced some incredible races. Off late, last year there was in 2018 you had the Verstappen charge, where he slammed into the back of Esteban Ocon. Last year as well was quite exciting when Lewis Hamilton, it was probably the first time in the season where you saw Lewis actually frustrated. That was a great race. And of course, this year, unfortunately, we don't know when the races are going to start. So in replacement of that, we have and who won it. So let's see how this race goes. Now, the format is fairly simple. You have 80 minutes of qualifying, followed by a 25% race, the 25% of the real race, and that means a total of 80. Actually, in theory, this race should last about as long as the qualifying, considering that this is a fairly short track. See how it goes. Let's get on to get some of the promising race. Sorry guys, I'm a little pooped out. I think I need of undulations, elevations, and everything in between. He's working his way all the way to Juncao, which stands for the junction, one of the most critical corners of the circuit, because you power your way all the way up into the triple left-handers, passing Cafe, getting as much drive as you can. This is going finish line, doing about 330 kilometers per hour, braking hard, getting into the Senna curves, and then the curves open up wide into turn 3, which is Curve de Sol or Curve. A very, very interesting corner because it has multiple lines and it opens up wide. Braking hard, making your way into Descida do Lago, which means that the descent of the lakes, and powering your way back uphill again. This is a very, very exciting corner, 6-gear corner ideally. Horseshoe, braking hard in Ferradura. I'm sorry about that, guys. Making your way into Pinheirino, which stands for the pine tree, and braking hard into the Duckbill, the slowest part of the circuit, and then powering your way downhill again to Marhulo, and braking hard again to Juncao. So all in all, looks like a pretty good lap from Shah 2224. Let's see what he puts on the. This lap record is held by Lewis Hamilton, a 108. Rajdeep Paul did a 109, not too bad, and Shah, not too shabby himself, about 5/10 behind the pace of Rajdeep Paul over there in a Renault. This is something that you won't see in real life, but don't forget that these cars, for a lot of mid 110s we're seeing in, a late 110, and even early 111. Alright, Ashwin Lakwani replying right there in the Red Bull. Now, this is one of Max Verstappen's favorite tracks, and he did a 108.9. That is an extremely competitive lap time right there. Let's see if we can follow some other drivers. We haven't seen Nova West and Mercurial Caesar. Guys, with the gaming names, please. I think we should switch over to your race. 1426 Ace here, making his way to Juncao. Let's see, he should be putting in lap is like. Alright, let's get some of get some telemetry on board as well. Let's get the mini map on board. That was your first DRS section. Pretty competitive lap. Alright, making his way down to Reta Oposta. Now this is the longest straight of the circuit. You might be thinking it's a drive up to the start finish line, but that's technically not a straight. It's actually a series of 3 left-hand curves, and the drivers complain a lot because this is also one of the few tracks on the F1 calendar that goes anti-clockwise. So it is a pain in the neck, quite literally, especially on the left side, because drivers tend to actually train more for the right side, because tracks that are counterclockwise, which are most of the tracks in the F1 calendar, tend to rotate clockwise, so tends to be more painful on your right. But a lot of drivers on the left side. Alright, now let's see. So far, a pretty clean lap right here from Ace 1426, breaking all the drive he possibly can, all the way up to Cafe, all the way up to the boxes, and making his way to the bleachers, crossing the start finish line. That's the sound of the DRS zone right there. And what is his time? A 1:11.226. Not too bad at all, but still not good enough. Is the man on pole at this moment. All right, now let's see. NovaWest is on his, still in the pits, still playing hard to get, I guess. NovaWest right there. Imran Thunder, who had a really in Australia, was started from way back in the grid, and he's running mediums again. So I think he's employing last week's strategy by getting on the mediums, trying to get on a longer stint, maybe not going for outright pace but more consistency, and it kind of paid off last. But running on mediums, so I'm not expecting a pretty quick time. But we have Rajdeep Paul there, who put a pretty impressive 109.751 on mediums. Ooh, looks like he braked a little too hard, getting into Laranjina on the essay. But let's see what his times show. Alright, let's see who else do we have here. We have Azim Clark as well in the 109s, but it's still Ashwin Lakhwani who has broken past the 109s and gotten to the 108s, just a tenth under the 109 mark. Noah West has left the session. What happened, dude? Looks like a lot of people are dropping out. Alright, Imran Thunder passing, getting to the start finish line. And that was a pretty impressive time, a 1:10.419. That is pretty impressive considering that he's running on mediums. Rajdeep Paul here is the benchmark on medium tires, and he's done a 109. Still not good enough, but pretty impressive nonetheless. But looks like he's going for lap 2 of his flying lap. Will he be able to better it? Well, let's find out as we stick with him as he works his way up into the horseshoe. Flat out, as you go up the hill, hard braking there before you take the right hander, and now slowing right down as you accelerate downhill. It's a very, very tricky corner right here, the Pinheirino. Session no longer exists. Oh, I think we have a bit of an issue here, guys. If you can just hold on for a second. Yikes, it looks like I have been dropped out of the session, guys. Well, technical difficulties all around. If you guys have been following the Ultimate E official handle as well, they had a string of technical difficulties, so we are not averse to them. Alright, so let me just join the session again. Looks like we're gonna have to redo the qualifying session. So let me just get into spectate zone. I think we should be back and running in about 3 to 4 minutes. So if you guys are on air with us, it'll be great. So let me look at the comments quickly. We have Veeresh Sangoli. What's up, Glenn? Hey, dude. What's up? Nice to see you. Abdul Makuim. All the best, guys. Thanks, Abdul. That's very kind of you. Kapil Ace, number 6. PC League, time for PS4. Let's go. PC League done. Time for PS4. Let's go. Absolutely. All right. I'm back into the session. I guess it was a problem with my PS4. Looks like my network dropped, but we're back right in. And Ashwin Lakhwani is still out on pole, and it looks like he's running to his out lap. So let's quickly follow him and see what's what. Looks like he's out lap, getting ready for his flying lap. Posted a 1:08.9, so let's see if he can improve on it. Making his way down to the slowest corner of the circuit, that is the Duckbill corner. Quite interesting. This circuit also has some very, very interesting names. This is one of my favorite corners in the circuit. Taking it nice and easy, braking early to try and get as much drive as he can as he blasts through Junkao. Looks like that was a good exit he got right there. And let's get some telemetry on and see what is what. Okay, braking hard into T1, making his way into the Senna S's. And Curve of the Sun, Curva do Sol. Braking hard into the Ciudad de Lagos is one of the most trickiest corners in the circuit because again the radius tightens as you take that corner, so you have to get in a little slower than you think you do. Horseshoe corner right here, powering your way uphill, so you don't want to brake too hard because you lose all the momentum as you go uphill. Is this lap invalid? I think it's invalid. Yep, it is invalid. This game is brutal with its track limits right there. I had a go earlier just to see what the game was like, and man, I kept getting hammered with the track limits. Okay, Azim Clark coming up again to his flying lap. Will he be able to? I'm sorry, he gets into his pits. My bad, guys. Rajdeep Paul again. Where is he? He's right here up the main straight. Will he be able to improve on his time? I'm sorry, that was not Rajdeep Paul, that's PXT. PXTX, that I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm just gonna call you Pataka, dude. I think that's the easiest way I can go about pronouncing your gamer tag. Pixtax, is that it? Okay, but a 90256, 109256. That is an improvement over his previous time, so that puts him number 2 on the grid. But where is the main players, Nova West and Mercurial Caesar? These are the guys you need to look out for, because he is finally out here in his outlap. Let's see the time he puts up on the clock. I think we caught him at the right time. So making his way up the hill. Or is he employing some sort of strategy here? Yep, they want to get out without as much traffic as possible, sticking to the left. And there you have it, folks, a 108.5. A 108.5, extremely competitive. Tariq Rahman there, back in form. Yep, he also competed about 2 hours ago on the Ultimate EF1 League. And no surprises there. No surprises there. He won the first race, I believe. I didn't watch the second race. Whoops. Sensible, that's what I'm... 7B? Alright, 7B here, going a little offline there, and this track completely catching him out. This is the beautiful thing about this track. This track was built in the 1940s, so it's sort of an old format. Tracks that follow an older format tend to, in my opinion, be a lot more exciting to watch racing. The original Interlagos was over 7.5 kilometers long, but they shortened it over the years to make it its current format, which is 4 and a bit, I think 4.9 kilometers long. And these cars lap around a minute, 0.8 or 9, an average of a minute, 0.10 at race pace. So that gives you an idea of how quick these cars are around the track. But the amazing thing about this track and why I love it is it has a mix of everything. You have a mix of fast flowing corners, slow corners. Sector 1 is completely fast flowing. Sector 2 as well has a mix of fast corners, but Sector 3 is completely technical. It all comes down to driver skill, really managing the car at these low speed corners like right here you have at the Duckbill corner, and again blasting your way downhill. And of course this track has tons and tons of undulations, so it makes for exciting racing, but it's also quite technical as a track, because if you overshoot or if you overdrive the car, which is very, very easy to do in this track, it will bite you and bite you hard. Alright, Mayank over here, will he be able to improve? No, he doesn't. It's a 110.4, so he stays as is. Let's see, who else do we have here? Jackson Ginger. sorry. Jackson Ginger right there. A 110.8 in his Ferrari. Let's see how he does here. Looks like he's into his flying lap. Quite aggressive there on the downshift. So you can see his fuel indicator is blinking. So he's employing a great qualifying strategy by going as low on fuel as possible, using the soft tires to get as much out of the car as possible. But no, I think he's run out of fuel. I think that's happened. I think he's run out of fuel. Yeah, he's run out of fuel. Or maybe he's just sort of given up on this lap. But to me, it looks like it's fuel. Fuel is the issue. There you go. Completely driving it on the limit. PRX Skinny. Puneet Kudlur here driving the Mercedes, which has the lap record here at the Interlagos. 2018 Mercedes, driven by Lewis Hamilton, did a 108.9, I believe. So in theory, Tariq Rahman is actually faster. But in theory, of course, because this is sim racing. But he's put a 110.9, just under 111. Will he be able to improve? Let's watch and see. Coming into Pinheirino, the Pine Tree, a downhill corner. You want to be on constant throttle over there and just catapult your way in, braking really hard into the duckbill and blasting your way down Merhulo. Braking hard into Juncao, one of the most unforgiving corners ever, because if you overshoot a little bit, the curbs will catch you out. One thing I noticed about F1 2019, I had to go. I don't play F1 2019 often, honestly. I think last week was the first time I actually got my hands on the game, but I do play Gran Turismo Sport quite often. And PRX Skinny not able to improve. Let's see, anyone else down the grid? Jitu right there? Nope, not yet. Well, one of the things I noticed with this game compared to Gran Turismo Sport, of course, Gran Turismo Sport, you're not driving Formula 1 cars, you're driving typically GT cars, and there the curbs are a lot more forgiving. You can ride the curbs a lot more to gain as much time, but here I tried a couple of laps with Gran Turismo Sport. I tried a couple of laps with F1 2019 today, and I kept getting caught out by the curbs. The curbs are extremely slippery, and as you can see, a lot of these guys are avoiding the curbs like the plague. Ashwin Lakwani here, braking hard into the 2-legs corner, and yep, as you can see, they try to avoid the curbs as much as possible because the curbs are extremely slippery. They will catch you out and spin you off track, which happened to me multiple times. But yep, a little bit more about Proximity Esports. We also have a Gran Turismo Sports League that's happening tomorrow, which I will be taking part in, and we are going to be racing at Laguna Seca. Okay, so it looks like we're pretty much at the end of qualifying, and it looks like we have Tariq here, who is on pole. Ashwin is on second. Will this be... Yeah, it looks like this is his last go. Will he be able to pull something together? Let's wait and watch as he makes his way up the hill. Coming down to the start-finish straight. Will he be able to improve? He did improve by a 10th or so, but it's not enough, which means that Tariq takes pole. Alright. So there you have it, folks. It looks like the grid order is pretty much set. Let's wait and see till the session is over. 2 more minutes to go, and then we're on to racing. So hold on tight, ladies and gentlemen, or all the gentlemen who are watching, and we shall be back in just a sec. Alright, let's look at down the order again. Nova West, looks like he didn't make it. He got booted out of the session. That's unfortunate. He put on a really great race last weekend, but it looks like he's not going to be joining us for this session. That's really unfortunate. We live in a day where your internet connection can determine your grid order. Ain't that a shame? We shall be back, ladies and gentlemen, just a sec. Hold on tight. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, it looks like we have rainy weather. That's gonna be fun. I believe this happened on the previous Ultimate E race as well, and I believe that was a glitch. I'm not really sure. I'm sorry guys, do bear with me. I'm still getting my bearings around F1 2019. It's a whole new ball game for me. But I'm definitely trying my best. Alright, looks like we have rainy weather, so this is going to be a very interesting race indeed. So let's go through the starting grid once everybody joins in. It looks like once everybody joins in, we should have the starting grid in order and hopefully a clean race as well. The last thing we want to see is, of course, an extremely dirty race. All right, so it looks like Tariq. Alright, so it looks like we're on our warm-up lap, and that's good because last time, unfortunately, my internet glitched on me, and so let's go on through the starting grid. So we have Tariq Rahman, Mercurial Caesar, followed by Ashwin Lakhwani, followed by these that we are facing today. It seems to be getting worse by the day. I think that because of the lockdown, we have been overloading all our internet servers, and they tend to keep dropping. So I'm sorry, we should be back in the session once again. But we do have the warm-up lap, so hopefully we'll be back in the session before that. Please do bear with me for a minute till the internet responds and gets back to racing.